My name's Rosemary Robinson. I'm retired, or more or less retired now. I was a Green Party member in the 80s and 90s. I've actually stood for Parliament twice. So yes, environment's very important to me, and the way we treat the planet is exceedingly important.
When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Climate justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Climate justice!
Well, I first became involved with Extinction Rebellion last December, and that was following the announcement or the report that was published by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change last October, which said that we had between 12 and 32 years in order to turn things around before we got to irreversible climate change, which could eventually lead to, well, mass extinction of all life on Earth, including humans. Felt like somebody had winded me, and I felt in a state of shock for about a week. You know, I felt really down about it, and I really felt that conventional politics doesn't actually produce any goods in terms of climate change. And when I saw Extinction Rebellion, I thought, well, this is non-violent direct action. This is a way that we can use the system in a way that will get quicker change and get the government to sit up and take notice and act on the climate emergency. I've got 4 small grandchildren. One's 12, the others are 2, 3 and 4 years old, and I just couldn't bear to think that they would have a future that wasn't worth living.
Extinction! Rebellion! Extinction! Rebellion! Extinction! Rebellion! What do we want? Climate justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Climate justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Climate justice! When do we want it? Now! Extinction! Extinction!
I went both to the April Rebellion in London and the October Rebellion in London. I was arrested twice at both locations, twice in Parliament Square and then twice in the October Rebellion in St James's Park. It's actually very easy getting arrested, because once you get arrested you don't have to worry about anything because the police take charge of everything. They were very, very friendly and very helpful, and very reluctant, I think, to arrest. They would much prefer it if we'd just moved on rather than having to arrest them, because of course the police time and the lack of empty cells was a problem for them. But just because they're members of the police force doesn't mean that they don't have children or grandchildren, and doesn't mean that they don't think about the future that we're looking towards. I mean, I felt quite fortunate the second time I was arrested, because I had a nice, warm, draft-free cell, a meal. Not that it's very interesting, the meal, but and people were very polite, very nice. They even turned the lights down when I wanted to go to sleep. But I was let out of the cell at 4:30 in the morning in Wandsworth. Now, I don't know London at all. It was absolutely bucketing down with rain. I walked over the road to the other side of the pavement, and there were 4 arrestee supporters. They gave me some coffee and tea and some sweets. They all gave me a hug. Now, I think that is absolutely amazing, because they don't know me, I don't know them, but they were prepared to do that because they think it's worthwhile doing. The one thing I really like about Extinction Rebellion, it's very strong on what they call the regenerative culture. We all look out for each other. It's all very much respect for each other, respect for other life on Earth. I think the non-violent aspect of Extinction Rebellion is absolutely fundamental, because as we were talking about the regenerative culture. If you're aggressive towards other people or the planet itself, that's not the way to go. And so it's absolutely essential that we do non-violent protest. I can't see ever that we would ever dip into anything else, because that would be totally contrary to what we're trying to achieve. Extinction Rebellion isn't necessarily what people think it is. I mean, you get a very skewed version of it in the Tory press in particular, that's trying to sort of attack the individuals and attack the personalities and attack the tactics. And I just think if you do that, then you distract attention from the real issue, which is climate change. Most of the media, most of the newspapers and even the television tend to sort of stick to safe messages and stick to conventional politics, and they don't really want to engage with what's going on on the street level, I suppose. People in positions of power run the media and run the government and run big business. It's not in their interest really to give a lot of airplay, a lot of space to people who are suggesting that there's something wrong with the system we've got now and that we need to sort of have whole-scale changes in society. Extinction Rebellion's got three main demands. Our first call is to ask the government and the media to tell the truth about exactly what's happening. We do get lots more news now, but there's still a reluctance to sort of just say just how bad it really is. So the first thing is to tell the truth. The second demand is that we act now, or the government acts now, and we're calling for a reduction in carbon emissions to net zero by 2025. That's a tall order, but we feel that anything less than that risks us running into irreversible climate change. So we need to do something now. It's no good waiting until 2030, 2040 or 2050 as the government is now suggesting that we work towards. And the third demand is that we have or the government creates a citizens' assembly. We're saying let people come together with the government and talk about ways that we can resolve these issues so that we can all move forward together. I think it's very important that you look beyond the people, although having said that, I love being in Extinction Rebellion. I think the people who are in it are brilliant, all wonderful. It just makes you feel that there are other people that feel the same way about you, and it gives you hope. I mean, that for me gave me hope, because the situation is really dire at the moment and you don't want to lose hope.